Today I'm going to give you a complete locals guide to living in Centreville, Maryland. We're going to cover the top things to do, my favorite parks, the top rated schools, and go over some helpful stats about the area. Don't forget to check out the full article I wrote to go along with this video on livinginmaryland.com, the #1 resource for finding the perfect Maryland city that meets your unique needs. All right, so Centreville is the small, charming town on the eastern shore of Maryland. And when I say charming, I mean it's got that classic small town feel mixed with beautiful historic buildings and some seriously friendly people. If you like a slower pace of life but still want to be within driving distance of bigger cities like Annapolis, Baltimore, or even DC Centreville, might be the perfect spot for you. One of the first things people ask about when moving to a new town is what's the cost of living? Like, well, in Centreville, home prices are around $500,000, which is a little higher than some other parts of the Eastern Shore, but that's because Centreville is such a desirable place to live. The homes here are a mix of beautiful historic houses and newer developments, so you've got options whether you want something with character or something move-in ready. Now let's talk about what there is to do in Centreville, and honestly there's a lot more than you might expect for a small town. First up, we've got the Tuckahoe State Park, which is about a 15-minute drive away. This park is amazing for hiking, fishing, and just getting outside for some fresh air. There's even a lake where you can kayak or canoe, which is a pretty awesome way to spend a weekend afternoon. If you're into history, you're going to love downtown Centreville. The town was founded in the 1700s, and a lot of the buildings still have that colonial era charm. The Queen Anne's County Courthouse is actually the oldest courthouse in continuous use in Maryland, which is pretty cool. There are also a bunch of historic homes and buildings that make you feel like you stepped back in time. Now, if you're more into food than history, don't worry, Centreville has you covered. There are some awesome local spots to grab a bite. One of my favorites is Doc's Riverside Grill, which has some amazing seafood because you know we're in Maryland, so of course the seafood is top notch. If you're looking for a great breakfast or lunch, Commerce Street Creamery is another must-visit spot. Speaking of local businesses, one of the best things about Centreville is the strong sense of community. You've got local farmers, markets, great little shops, and events throughout the year like the annual Christmas parade and the Queen Anne's County Fair that bring everyone together. It's the kind of place where you get to know your neighbors and people actually stop to say hello. Now let's talk about the schools, because I know that's a big deal. For a lot of people, Centreville is part of the Queen Anne's County public school system, which is one of the best in the state. The schools here consistently get high ratings and offer a great mix of academic programs and extracurricular activities. Queen Anne's County High School is known for its strong sports teams and arts programs. So whether you've got a future athlete or a budding artist, there are plenty of opportunities. Another big plus about living in Centreville is how close it is to the Chesapeake Bay. If you love boating, fishing, or just being near the water, you're in a great spot. There are tons of marinas and waterfront spots nearby where you can take in some gorgeous views or get out on the water for the day. Commuting is also pretty convenient for a small town. If you work in Annapolis, it's about a 30-minute drive. Baltimore is around an hour, and DC is about an hour and a half. So while you get that peaceful small town vibe, you're still close enough to bigger cities if you need to commute for work or just want a day trip. Another hidden gem in Centreville is the Corsica River, which runs right through town. This is a great place for kayaking and paddleboarding, and there's even a little park called the Corsica River Nature Preserve where you can hike or have a picnic. If you're someone who loves the outdoors, you're going to love living here. All right, let's talk about shopping and amenities. Now, Centreville isn't a big city, so you won't find huge malls or tons of big chain stores, but you do have everything you need. There's a Food Lion for groceries, some small boutique shops downtown, and if you need bigger stores like Target or Walmart, you can find them in nearby towns like Easton or Annapolis. One of my favorite things about Centreville, though, is just how peaceful it is. The streets are lined with trees, there's very little traffic, and at night you can actually see the stars. It's a great place to unwind and just enjoy life at a slower pace. If you're someone who likes festivals and local events, you're in luck. Centreville has a bunch of them throughout the year. Like I mentioned earlier, the Queen Anne's County Fair is a big one with livestock shows, carnival rides, and all the funnel cake you could ever want. The town also has a great 4th of July celebration and an awesome Christmas parade that gives you all these small town holiday vibes. Now, a lot of people ask about crime rates when moving to a new area, and I'm happy to say Centreville is a really safe place. The crime rate here is lower than the national average, and it's one of those places where people still leave their doors unlocked and kids can ride their bikes around town without any worries. All right, so let's do a quick recap. Centreville is a charming historic town with a strong sense of community, great schools, and a lot of outdoor activities to enjoy. The cost of living is reasonable, especially considering the quality of life you get here. It's got a great location close to the Chesapeake Bay and within driving distance of bigger cities, but it still holds on to that peaceful small town feel. So if you're thinking about moving to Centreville, Maryland, I'd say it's definitely worth checking out. It's one of those places that once you visit, you kind of fall in love with. Don't forget to check out the full article I wrote for this area with additional links and resources on livinginmaryland.com, along with articles for hundreds of other Maryland cities. Our mission is to help you find the best city in Maryland that meets your unique needs. If you would like to have a conversation with one of our local real estate experts, just fill out the contact form below to get started.